Hey, happy Monday night, everybody. Anthony Alfred here with you. Our Raw reactions. And just to let you know, I'm going to also do an NXT reaction tomorrow. Big night of NXT Homecoming tomorrow. So I'll have the reaction video for this tomorrow. I am broadcasting, by the way, from Cleveland, in case you don't know. And it's a bit relevant because if you're from Cleveland or support Cleveland, if you watch wrestling, you had a great night. If you flipped over to Monday Night Football and you witnessed Nick Chubb get a touchdown and you witnessed Baker Mayfield lead a game-winning touchdown drive and you're a Browns fan, yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. And you get more details about that on the Inside Edge Network. But we're here to talk about the wrestling side of things. Overall, a phenomenal episode of Monday Night Raw. Look, I know WWE is going through a ton of bad PR right now, and believe me, it's bad PR. But getting things set in motion for WrestlePalooza, I think tonight they did a really good job on that front, even if some of you, maybe this guy, can't watch WrestlePalooza because, well, YouTube TV doesn't have an agreement with ESPN, and I'm not paying $30 extra to watch WrestlePalooza. So I hope Kyle is able to let me watch the show because I can't watch it in clean ways. So I'll enjoy the TV shows because I don't mind paying $8 a month for Netflix. We get right to it. A ton of likes. There's only one dislike on this list, and it's not even a strong dislike. It's an observation. So let's get to it. The show started. Hold on, let me turn this AC off. This is a little distracting here. There we go. Thought I have a little bit of confidence my voice could overcome the AC. The show started with John Cena. I thought the broadcast did a great job of setting the stage, setting the significance of why having John Cena in Springfield was important. I love Cena bringing up that, hey, I went and played football down the street from that arena. And, the younger fans didn't know. And then he also said, well, the older fans don't know either because he was an offensive lineman. And I love how he tied in that from being an offensive lineman to, developing those skills of being a workhorse that he had been for 20-some years in WWE. He did a great job explaining why he took on this match. He did a great job selling He did a great job selling the fact that Brock Lesnar is an attraction once again. And the danger of bringing in Brock Lesnar was obviously bad PR things. Of course, if you look up the Vince McMahon case, Brock's not innocent, but he's not guilty either, among other things. So, controversial figure, obviously. John Cena did a great job of integrating all that and building him up and making people want to see that match. And for fans who have been around for a little bit, like myself, you remember Cena and Brock's first match after WrestleMania. I think it was, I want to say it was Backlash in 2012. And it was brutal. And I don't mean that like in they say a 5-star. It was a 5-star match, but it was John Cena basically getting, demolished on television. I'm still upset that Cena won that match. I thought that was a bad booking decision by Vince back then. I thought Brock Lesnar should have won that match. But it does cast doubt of, this could be it. The only thing I would have said was, I would have liked for Cena to have said, maybe my retirement tour ends early because Brock may put me out of action for good. I got 6 dates left. I may not be able to fulfill because Brock might take me out for good. But it's the classic babyface promo. I might be scared. Brock is a threat, a major threat. I might lose this match, but I'm not backing down. It's the tired and true babyface basics, right? Babyface one-on-one. Hold on, let me see who scored this touchdown. Let me see. Is it Quentin Johnson? Quentin Johnson? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just checking. Oh, it's Keenan Allen. Oh, man. Sorry, it's Monday nights during football season. I need Quentin Johnson to do well because fantasy football ain't looking good. But no, John Cena did a great job. Hot crowd. Notice the stage, too. They already scaled down the entrance, the Titantron, already, like a couple years ago. And now, basically, it's just the aisleway. So, that was an amazing shot at the beginning of the show. When they first showed the arena, that place was packed. So, those are the things you want to see if you're a WWE fan. But again, especially because of all the backlash that the company has been facing lately. Let's talk about, you know what? I'll talk about Becky and AJ and Punk in a second. Let me skip to Bayley, her return. First off, great to see Lyra back in the ring. Great to see Lyra back in the ring. Of course, her and Roxanne did a great job. A little bit of a angle at the end, but, to end the match. Raquel was tossed out of was thrown out, arguing with the official. I think it was Jessica Carr, arguing with her. And then Lyra takes advantage, gets the W, and gets the double team, and then Bayley comes out. I initially thought when Bayley came out, I thought the setup was going to be, they're going to have, it's going to be Roxanne and Raquel versus Lyra, and Lyra has to find a partner at like WrestlePalooza or even Raw next week. Like they could do something like that. In my mind at first, make Lyra basically beg for Bayley to come back, beg for a friend to come back or something to that effect. But what they ended up doing was much better. Bayley comes out. You've been seeing the videos of Bayley, her multiple personalities, the inner conflict within herself. And then, again, she comes out. She saves the day, takes out Judgment Day, and then then goes and hugs Joe Tessitore, hugs Corey Graves, hugs Alicia Taylor, hugs some of the fans. I don't know if they were real fans or plants in the front row. They're probably real fans. There were certain guys you could tell in the front row that was like, oh, I want a hug. I want a hug. And they didn't get it. You could see in their face was a little bit of disappointment when they didn't get the hug. But outstanding stuff. And the follow-up was fantastic. So later in the show, Lyra's backstage. She's thinking about thanking Bayley. And then, you hear these noises inside Bayley's locker room. And then the noise kind of stops. Lyra knocks on the door. Bayley's just sitting there. No issue. It's like, she's minding her own business. Like nothing was just happening a few seconds ago. It's kind of like when you're going crazy listening to music, and then you get a knock on the door, and then everything goes quiet. Kind of the same deal. It's actually pretty cool. And then Bayley's just again goes crazy. And Lyra, it's a great feud. It's great. There's a new dynamic to this. And that feud doesn't need a title. Eventually, I don't know if they're going to roll with Lyra and Bayley as a crazy tag team. They could do that. They could eventually do a breakup angle, or they could go right away to a breakup angle. But this is fun. This is fun. I got to give Triple H and the writing team credit for what they have done with Bayley since she's been off of television, since she lost those matches earlier in the summer to Becky and Lyra. Excellent character development and a great job overall. All right, now let's talk Seth Rollins, Becky, AJ Lee, CM Punk. I got to say, just, covering this, we watch every week. From a behind-the-scenes standpoint, I don't know about you. It seems to me like off-camera, CM Punk and Seth Rollins are like best friends. I don't know why I get that vibe. I don't know why, but that's the vibe I'm getting watching those two in action. Got to talk about Becky for a second. So Seth Rollins keeps his music, or they keep the music for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins introduces himself and everything, and people still go along and chant with Seth Rollins. Meanwhile, for Becky Lynch, there is no likable qualities in Becky Lynch whatsoever. You will not cheer for Becky Lynch ever in this current phase of her character. Again, the power of changing your music. This is why little things like that matters. Her previous theme, even I know she could have kept that theme as a heel and Becky would have did a good job. But that theme in the past was associated with WrestleMania main event, associated with biggest babyface, women's babyface in WWE. The theme song that she has now, 100% associated with her current heel character. 100%. And people want to see her get her behind kicked. And Becky is drilling it in. Becky did a great job. And Becky, to me, is the MVP of this feud. I told you I was down. I was completely down on Seth Rollins and Punk again. Becky single-handedly has elevated this thing to a whole new level. AJ Lee still feels like, maybe she's still working to get her timing down a little bit. They didn't have her do too much, but what she was asked to do, she nailed it. It's still early enough where people want to see her. People want to, my only thing, CM Punk is so popular. Will AJ, AJ will get that shine, but will AJ Lee, how quickly can she get back up to speed? Again, they're starting her off. It seems like to me, compared to the screen time, compared to the screen time, the promo time that, Seth Rollins and Becky are getting, and even Punk, it seems like they have the training wheels on AJ Lee a little bit, but multi-year deal. I would imagine after WrestlePalooza, this thing splits off, where again, you're going to get Punk and Rollins for the title, but also AJ Lee and Becky separately, probably a crown jewel. So that's all coming. But it worked. It worked. Even the Seth Rollins telling AJ Lee, look here, little girl. There's just things like that. They're doing this feud. I'm not going to say this final promo knocked it out of the park. I'm not going to say that, but I would say it was a good double. To use baseball terms, it was a double in the center field. Get you ready to go for Saturday. And Saturday will be electric when they match up. All right, I'm running way over. Let's quickly go through some of the other things. There are big plans on the front of the Usos. Jey Uso. There are big plans. LA Knight, I thought it was very interesting. If you look in terms of typically you close the final Raw or final SmackDown before a major PLE, you close with one of the top stars that is going to be involved in a match on the PLE, on the pay-per-view. LA Knight doesn't have a match at WrestlePalooza. He said it himself. I don't care what you're doing. I don't have a match. Very interesting that LA Knight is the last man standing on a go-home episode of Raw before a PLE. That tells me something big is about to happen moving forward with LA Knight in that sense. Love the development throughout the show. You know, Jey Uso, you're seeing the ascension. Now, the key is going to be, and we're going to see how it's booked on Saturday, and we'll talk about it this weekend. The key is going to be, can you still, while Jey Uso is assuming to take this leadership role, do you still want Jey Uso to be a babyface? That's going to be the question WWE, the writing team's going to have to figure out. Does he still operate as a babyface? Or is a heel turn necessary? And I would imagine, too, probably the next feud is Jey Uso and LA Knight, but you still got the Bronze to deal with, too. A lot of different stories playing out at once, and all of it's pretty entertaining. Of course, the ultimate babyface and Jimmy Uso saying, look, I don't see no Uba Fuba around your neck. Like, who are you to be telling me to take all these orders and stuff? And don't think we didn't notice, Jey Uso was on the phone with somebody, probably Roman, and when Jimmy asked who you on the phone with, don't worry about it. That will come up again. Oh, and don't think for 1 second, throwing out a theory here, I just thought about this. Don't think for 1 second Paul Heyman's not involved in whatever's going on here. Neither. Don't think this is not also a behind-the-scenes thing involving Paul Heyman. It could be. Very well could be on top of Roman Reigns and kind of illustrating the future. It's a ton happening. All right, I got less than 2 minutes. Io Sky, Asuka, great job there, of course, with the build to the Women's Championship match with Stephanie Vaquer. And Io, of course, the best thing going on television right now, besides, Becky mentioning Sports Illustrated, is Io screaming Kairi Sane's name. So that's one of the best things. Again, how does Asuka, who's not technically competing on Saturday, how does she play into what's happening with Io Sky, what's happening with Stephanie Vaquer? I don't know who wins that match, by the way, the Women's Championship, but we'll have to see. Also, Rusev. How about Rusev declaring himself the next challenger for the Intercontinental Championship? I like that. You heard some chants of Rusev Day. But Rusev is an asset. Got to use him. Got to figure out what to do with him and maybe positioning him as a strong work rate babyface to face off against Dom. Probably not a bad idea to make use of Rusev, who as a babyface can make money for you. So maybe that's not a bad idea. My only small little dislike, and it's a small dislike, Finn Balor hating on Dom because it's a real... Is this a slow burn on the Judgment Day? And I mean, we're talking years now, the slow burn of Judgment Day. Or is it just family, arguing with family and bickering and jealousy and all that stuff? Maybe. Great episode of Raw. And we're going to have the NXT Reacts coming up tomorrow because that's a loaded show. Loaded show, little notes, little news and notes. Lyra Vicaria is replacing Tiffany Stratton, as announced by Ava on Twitter. I think Tiffany suffered an injury. Full disclosure, I still need to watch SmackDown from last Friday. So, haven't watched yet. So, I need to catch up and watch SmackDown. But we will have live NXT same night reaction tomorrow following NXT Homecoming. And then also follow us on socials, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast on socials, and our new podcasting network, Inside Edge Network, at Inside Edge Net on all social platforms. Have a great day, everybody.